Hey guys, welcome back to Johnny's Off-Road Adventures, editor slash I didn't record any audio edition. The little bit of audio that was recorded I cut out because I have all authority over this and I'm going to do what I want. Nobody can do anything about it. Anyway, we have Johnny here to explain what's going on in the video so we don't have to just trash the whole damn thing. Johnny.
Hi guys. Yep, we
So
screwed up the video.
let's start though with right here with Utah Off-Road Recovery guys and kind of their deal, what they do. I know it's all volunteer, your guys' own personal equipment, your Jeeps, your equipment, your time and training and all that, and it's all volunteer. But I don't know. I guess since it's never really been brought up, kind of tell everybody what they're doing all the time, or you guys are, I should say.
So basically, Utah Off-Road Recovery Team is a group of guys that started back in 2016 by Brett. He's the founder of it. To go help people out that basically they go out, they're having a good time, they get stuck, they get in trouble. Worst case scenario, they crash their vehicle, whatever it may be. These guys go out on their own time with their own vehicles, their own equipment, and voluntarily rescue these people so they don't spend thousands of dollars trying to get unstuck. You know, most people are just out here to have fun. So we are a nonprofit organization, so they do have a link that you can donate to, and they use the money for additional training or specialty recovery gear, things like that. But for the most part, it's all our own stuff, our own time.
So that's cool. And then I'll bring up that go find them on Facebook at Utah Off-Road Recovery Team, and there'll be a link in the description when this goes. There should be pretty much a link in the description of all the videos. But I guess going into it, here's what Land Rover. Do you know what year it was or anything like that? Or
I don't. I don't recall getting the year of it, but basically he'd been up playing up Starvation Canyon all afternoon, and they got so far up that the floods had washed the road out to the point they were no longer passable. So they turned around to come back out, and this was about 9 o'clock at night. It was dark, and he got too close to the edge there where it's washed away, and there was too much underpinning, and the road actually gave way, and he fell in that hole. So he did not drive into it. He actually collapsed down into it.
yeah, you can kind of
Him.
but you can kind of see in the video there where it almost just looks like there's just a ditch all along the side of that road.
Yeah, there is. It goes all the way down. Um, as you saw in that time-lapse video, there's a couple areas where there's just a huge marsh where the river busted out and just flooded out into the whole field and across the road. It's extremely wet up there. A week ago, this road was a raging river of meltwater.
So it's kind of hard to tell because I showed there on the one side, or on the passenger side, are the tires just like completely submerged, or
So the passenger side, he's actually, when we got it out, you could see the water line is about 12 to 14 inches up the body of the vehicle. It goes at kind of an angle, starts about the middle of the driver's door and goes all the way up to about the top of the fender well on the rear end. So at one point, that thing was very much underwater overnight. It was under some deep water. The water had receded quite a bit by the time we got there the next morning.
okay? Did they break out their driver's window just out of curiosity? I saw that bag there.
No, he couldn't get it to roll up for some reason
Oh,
last night. Something about the vehicle when it was tipped on that extreme angle or something like that, it wouldn't let him roll the window up, so he covered it with a bag.
okay. So just because I can see that we're coming up to it here, it's going to freeze for a second. But I guess go ahead and list off who these guys are right here in the freeze frame.
So if we start at the left, the gentleman on the far left holding the cell phone, that is my dad. He came out with us just for the day to just come out and have some fun. Next to him is Brett. He's the founder of the Utah Off-Road Recovery Team. Next to him is the requesting party that asked for us to come help. And then next to him is Chris. He's another one of the main instrumental people of the group. And then there's one more gentleman that's coming up that you'll see in a minute in the red shirt. And his name is Todd. There he is right now in the photo. You can see him.
Yeah, it's kind of funny as
He
you're
is.
saying that. I can see his reflection in the window of the warthog there.
Yes.
And I'll point out that I don't know what he calls his Jeep, if anything. So if you guys ever do happen to run into him and you start saying warthog, he's either going to not know what you're talking about, or he's probably going to say something along the lines of, "I wish that editor would shut his damn mouth." Um, but that's just a me thing. So now I don't know if I didn't get the video or missed it, but because you guys hook up here, and then did you try to pull it out with just his Jeep first?
Yeah, we tried just a single line pull first, just like a test pull, just to see how bad it was really stuck. Is it just in the hole, or will it come out? If we can get a good anchor, will it come free? We used two points underneath the front of the vehicle with what we call cluster hooks. We used a chain cluster hook, so you got good braking strength and stuff like that. And so we hooked up to that and a pulley, and technically it's what they call a two-line pull, because it comes all the way down, hooks to a pulley attached to the cluster hook, and then goes back to his Jeep and reduces the pull on one line to two lines, splits it in half, and gives you more pulling power. And as you'll see coming up, it didn't even move at all.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of laughing here editing the video because it looks like you pull all of his line out and then you're just, they just go in the mud.
Yeah, they asked me to come here and look at something, so I'm like, oh, all right. So, yep, I don't know what to do with the line, so there, throw it down here.
So we should have got your dad on here so I could have asked him, because I know he said that he's been kind of playing in the dirt since he was like, what, 15? And
oh, yeah.
So I'd like to know like how hard it was to redo suspension and wheels and stuff on a horse and buggy.
And they put them 3-inch horseshoe lift.
Yeah, is that what you did to lift your horse? You just got thicker shoes, so your horse was taller?
Just thicker shoes. Got yourself an upgraded Clydesdale.
I expect to get a text from him when this drops, hey, asshole,
Don't worry, though. It'll be a group text because, he likes those.
As he's leaving his Uber customer on the sidewalk.
Exactly.
Oh, inside joke. Nobody will get.
Nope.
So, I guess we can't see here. Is Brett just off? Is he getting his equipment or?
Yeah, Brett's getting his equipment, and Todd and I are discussing. We feel like that this is not going to go anywhere, so we're coming up with alternative plans. We're pointing out various trees we can connect to, and things like that, which we can do some direction change pulls and try to get good anchor points, because we both feel like this is really stuck. And as you see when we go to pull it, it is very much in there.
Yeah. Oh, there's old, I guess, Papa Adventure is the pack mule holding all the equipment.
Yeah.
But I guess
got endless loop and the cluster hooks, and then we decided at the last second to switch over to the chain one for stronger.
So I guess some people may not know is that I know from pulling cars out of the salt flats is because it looks like it should just kind of pull that front tire down and then just more or less roll out of there. But I guess what a lot of people probably aren't going to realize is that back tire is probably the most buried, that right rear. It looks like both tires are, but with both of them being, especially that right one, that mud creates like a suction.
Yeah,
you got to kind of.
And then when he went in, his steering wheels turned hard to the left or hard to the right there. So not only is he in, but he's also turning deeper in the hole. So to get the steering wheel back straight to come up out of the hole, it was a fight on two fronts there.
So how long was he up there before you guys got there?
He got stuck a little after 9 at night, and him and the guy he was wheeling with, because luckily, intelligence, he wasn't up there by himself. They worked on it till 4 in the morning when that guy's like, we're in over our head. We need to call Utah Off-Road Recovery to come help us.
Right. And then we didn't mention this earlier, but a lot of guys, I guess, or not a lot of guys, but the Utah recovery team, pretty much, you guys just go out where you're not going to get, or a wrecker's not going to come get you anyway.
No. No, there's no way a wrecker would have went up here to get this guy.
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody, like Matt's Off Road or
Yep.
I wish I could remember his name. Was it is it BCS or BCF Recovery? That guy that came down that's up in Wisconsin that has that kind of standard trophy rod, but it's off. He's made it more for off road for stuff kind of like this.
Yeah.
Which
And then there's a gentleman in Cedar City called Casey's Off Road that he has a bunch of off road rigs. He'll go deep in the woods and fetch people.
yeah, because there's really nobody that I know of up northern Utah anyway that does it
No,
as far
we
as a
go
company.
all over the place for people. So,
Um,
and
so for anybody wondering, that's a tree saver, right? He threw around that tree.
yeah.
So it's not
So we did the initial pull and nothing. So now we're doing 2 redirect pulls. My truck is right behind Brett's, and you'll see my line running up, and it's going to come over to a tree off here to the left of the vehicle, and then the rope's going to redirect at a 90-degree to the A-arm on the control arm on the Land Rover. And so what we're going to attempt to do is pull the Land Rover down as he pulls it forward and see if we can't get it to move that way. But again, it foils us. It fights us. We literally pull trees down while we're trying to do it. It's in there. We wind up pulling down 2 trees trying to get him. We do one tree, one big 6-7 inch tree, and nope. So we then switch to about a 12-14 inch tree, and it starts pulling it down. It's just like, this thing is in there, man.
Yeah, I think I ended up cutting it because there was a little bit of video when you guys were trying to pull the other way, because I could see where I think your winch was running up to a tree off on the, I guess, the passenger side of like your guys' vehicles, and then to the driver's side of the Land Rover.
Yeah.
But I think I ended up cutting it because old B. Lally was up there and he had a tree right in the center of the frame. And so
Yep.
I cut, but I mean, for anybody watching, you didn't, I guess, really miss anything. I mean, we would like to show it, but it was basically just that, and then it didn't go anywhere. So now what you're seeing here is their re-rigging
Yeah,
to
this
get
is
it out.
the second re-rig we did. We wind up having to do a total of 3 re-riggings. The third one's what finally got him out. And what you can't see is behind me is Todd's Jeep, and he's anchored off of me because we're pulling so hard it's dragging me right up into the back end of Brett's Jeep. It's just, between being muddy and slippery and that thing is just stuck.
And so if anybody ever wonders, because I know I did in the beginning, why you see these guys come out sometimes in packs of 3, 4, 5, it's for that, for anchoring off and things like that, and just, I guess it provides a lot more safety where, even if 2 of you get stuck, you still end up getting out.
Yeah, they did a Dodge Ram truck a couple of weeks ago that was stuck heavily in the mud, and they used modified what they call Spanish Burton, where the 2 vehicles anchor off of the 2 vehicles in front of them, but at the same time, their winches go up to a pulley that goes to a pulley back to the other vehicle, which goes back. It winds up being about a 4-line pull on the vehicle in the mud, which is what it took to get that Dodge out. It was stuck. It was all the way past the doors. But that wasn't one I was fortunate enough to go on. I was at work doing my real job.
For now.
For now.
So
if you wonderful subscribers work out, I'll just do this and make lots of videos for you guys.
Right. So do you remember what was kind of, are they still trying to figure out exactly how to run this, or?
For the most part, we're just discussing what is the best way to re-rig it and run it. So, because we just pulled down that last big tree, and he's like, all right, so Todd here, he's like, let's do it this way. We'll run you off of, we'll run this off of over here, and then we'll run my winch off of over here, and we'll go off of that, off to the side where you see Brett walking now. The trees over there were way bigger, and they're on flat ground, where the trees that you can't see off to the right of us, they're on a steep slope. So we get too much pull on them, and they just, on that steep slope, they want to come out.
Yeah, and for anybody
So,
who remembers this part of it, here in a second, you'll see um, when you know Be Loudly goes to get out of the way there, he kind of goes up the slope a little bit, and so you'll be able to see those trees are kind of like some of the ones you can see in the background there. They're pretty skinny.
yeah. But there's some really good trees off to that side over there, and they're also on flat ground. And so Brett's repositioning here so that we can get him over to the right a little bit more, so my winch rope doesn't hit his Jeep as we're pulling.
Yeah,
it's tight quarters there. There really is nowhere to go.
Yeah, because I noticed you'll see when I guess here in a second because you're sucking yours in there, but it pulls up real close to his.
Yeah, it does. It was not even the thickness of my hand away from touching his Jeep.
Yeah,
that was the best we could get it.
It would have been real bad news for his Jeep if you were running cable and that thing broke.
Oh, yeah, it would have left a scar.
Yeah, it might have enough tension on it to cut the metal open on his door.
Oh, yeah.
But it's okay there.
Yeah, so we got it all set up. We're tensioning the lines. And then once we get them all tensioned, we tell everyone to step back and stay clear so that, because it's some serious pulling. We do some, it pulls really hard.
Oh, you're actually on his tire a little bit. There you were.
Yeah, he's going to turn his tire and get it away from my rope. That's what I was just leaning in the window to tell him.
So that's kind of interesting when the camera pans back over, because when you look at it pops up here later, but his dash cam view, it was somewhat confusing looking at how the lines were hooked up, because it didn't look like two separate lines, or it looked like they were tied together somehow, which I guess they are running off of that V bridle, but
yeah, I'm doing a straight line pull and with an anchor off the back of me, and Brett is doing a pull with an anchor off to the left to a large tree over there to the left. So that way he's not getting drugged. And with the two of us pulling, both of us have 12,000-pound winches, and we're quite a ways out on our rope.
And for anybody wondering, no, he does not have Spider-Man powers.
Yeah, he was looking for slivers. He grabbed a dead tree on the way up there. And thought he got a handful of slivers.
I mean, I guess that makes more sense, but it's funnier to me to imagine him up there just like, come on, it's not working.
Either that or he found some mushrooms and
yeah,
his hands through the camera lens are amazing.
Yeah, who knows out there? What if I ate the wrong berries or?
Oh yes.
So I'm guessing it still ran because I just saw the tire moving, but.
Yeah, it still run. We were worried about it because it sat at such a heavy angle that the passenger side of the motor would have filled up with oil. But the requesting guy, he said, I'm just going to hit it. If it goes, then great. He said, if it doesn't, then we'll just tow it down the mountain and set it on fire. So he was pretty done with it. By the time we got him out of there, he was all stress and nerves. Fighting that till 4 a.m, going home, getting 3 hours of sleep, and then coming back up with us. He was just frazzled.
Yeah, because you'll be able to see pretty much right here where I was talking about with the suction. Because you see, it looks like it's pulling pretty hard, but then it'll just kind of bloop, come right out.
Yeah.
Because they broke the suction. Right there.
There, it also de-beads the rear tire.
Oh, really?
So it was, we never got a good view of that, but it de-beads the rear tire. The suction on it was so hard. On the
right side?
The right rear.
So I'm going to put in a request for everybody to tell old Master Chief to, I don't know, clean his window or his camera lens or something.
Ready?
Yeah, that's his Garmin GPS with the camera.
Here it comes.
Yeah, those usually aren't too bad. It could just be a little bit dirty lens because they get up there in the windshield and you forget about them. And
yeah, it's not like we don't
good idea.
Roads at all.
Right.
Have them turn a little bit left.
Yeah, I didn't ever see the beeping, but were you guys able to air it back up? Or?
Stop.
No, we limped it down to flat ground down there,
Nice.
and then we just took it. It
Now
was
we
so
just got to
full
get
of
out
mud
of here and
and
get him
rocks
out of
and
here.
water.
Oh, yeah, just put a spare on.
Yeah, we just put a spare on. We Todd had a full implement of tools and impacts and everything, so it took us 20 minutes. We got him all swapped out. So
now everybody gets to clean up.
yep.
That's probably
And in case anyone's wondering what I'm doing right there, I'm fishing. No, I'm washing the mud off my fair lead there. Yeah, everything was so muddy.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the worst part is putting everything away and then, going back and just cleaning everything because it's got to be covered in mud. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, it took me 20 plus minutes with a pressure washer just to wash all the mud out of my rope.
Yeah.
And that was just the rope.
And I don't know whose chains or V-bridle that was on the front of the Land Rover, but it looked fairly new and shiny. So they're going to, you need to get that washed off so it doesn't just turn into a ball of rust. And
yeah. Yep. That's one thing that never stops with this stuff we do is our vehicles just get trashed. We did one, I did Eagle Mountain Run a couple weeks ago, and by the time I was done with that, I had 3 inches of packed mud inside all my fender wells, and it was just a muddy mess.
So here's where the outro was that I also cut the audio explaining that there was no audio, which I'm hoping you figured out by now. But everybody, just like, subscribe, leave a comment. As he says in the video, he will respond to it. If you have any questions, comments, or if you just want to,
just anything.
Yeah, see something different. If you don't like my editing, because that's his problem. So
yes.
Thanks for sticking with us through this video, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Yep. Thanks, guys.